Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about relationship regrets after a breakup. Well, if you're in a situation where you're going through a breakup, there's a good chance you're going to have a lot of regrets afterwards. You're going to be reflecting upon things, what went wrong, things that you feel you did wrong, mistakes you made, and different choices that you could have made. And we really get stuck on that coulda, woulda, shoulda. And in this video, we're going to be talking about that because it's common to go through that, not only for the dumpee, but also for the dumper, because they have regrets too.
Yeah. And surprisingly, there is a lot of research on regrets after a breakup and relationship regrets, which Dr. Courtney Warren did an excellent job of synthesizing in one of her articles on Psych Today. I highly recommend it. If you want to skim through it and just see some of that information, it could be really enlightening. We're going to talk about some of the things that she mentioned in that article today as far as common regrets after a breakup. And just to be clear, a regret is something that in the past you would have done differently to have a different outcome. You know, if you could control the scenario, changing your behavior so that the results are different.
Yep. You got to think about those things, and you really want to reflect on these things because you want to make sure that you don't make mistakes like this in your next relationship or if they come back. So one of the regrets that people have after a breakup is leaving your partner in a reactive state. You did something impulsively, you were upset, you were hurt, you were angry, and boy, I see this all the time. In fact, somebody that has been watching the channel for a while, we helped get her back with her ex a while ago, but they've been having some problems again recently, and things have been a bit bumpy, and we did a coaching, and things had gotten better, but then in a reactive state, it was like that all or nothing mentality came out of her, where she got a little bit sensitive and heard about something, and she just almost wanted to end it right then and there. And in the moment, she felt like that, but of course afterwards, she's like, no, I want to fix this. So sometimes we break up with somebody impulsively, and then we regret not working it out or wish we had, soothed ourselves or not exploded so much. That happens a lot.
And the same goes with threatening a breakup.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of people who will get to this point, will say, I'm going to break up with you if you do X, Y, or Z, or say, I want to break up, but then not really mean it. It's just a threat. So take these things seriously, because a breakup, a separation is an attachment wound.
Yeah, threatening to break up with someone, it causes a lot of problems. People don't forget that. It's like the illusion that this relationship was in this safety, this magical fantasy safety that we had for it, it like bursts the bubble. And sometimes it can't get recovered. Sometimes I've seen it where somebody says it and that's it. Like it just falls apart quickly. So you got to be careful about, being reactive and emotional and saying something you don't really mean. That's a big one.
That is a big one.
Okay, here's another one, which is kind of opposite of that, right? Staying longer than you should. Sometimes the relationship was neglectful or toxic or unhealthy. One of the people were hurting. Maybe you were being neglected for a long time, and now you feel like you wasted your time and that you wish you could go back and stand up for yourself, that you wish you could have said, when we had that fight or that issue and it just didn't get resolved right then and there, maybe they were really disrespectful to you. Sometimes there's some kind of physical altercation or something like that. Sometimes people feel like, I should have ended it. That should have been the moment I left. But I tolerated it for too long. But sometimes it's just a slow decline, And
I know many of you are terrified that your ex-partner has this regret and is experiencing that they should have left sooner. And I invite you to further self-reflect on that relationship and think about, well, why would they have left sooner? And also thinking about it's each person's responsibility to communicate their concerns. There's people in situations, really, really sticky situations sometimes too, where they don't want to share what's bothering them because they don't want to burden their partner. They're not sure of their decision yet. They don't know what their decision will mean, or it's really hard to separate with someone if you have a lot of ties, an apartment together, kids, etc. So someone could feel like they should have left a long time ago, but it still is their responsibility to communicate those things, as difficult as it can be sometimes. Another major regret is being inauthentic or going against your own values. One of the biggest examples we see of this is cheating. So cheating on a partner, when you know that you value loyalty, you value someone, having your back and being really honest and transparent with you, and then doing something that's completely against it. You look back on that relationship, you feel icky because you know that something there wasn't who you are.
Yeah.
And another example of being inauthentic to your values can be if your partner really wants children or really wants to get married or has a certain set of values, and then you decide to morph yourself into someone that they would like, or change your values, or agree to something that isn't really part of your goals or your life vision. And so sometimes that can look like, getting married when that's something that you felt uncomfortable with. Maybe you get married prematurely and then later you're looking back, maybe there's a divorce involved, a separation, looking back thinking, man, I wasn't in that headspace truly for that commitment.
Yeah.
And another one that kind of is on the same line is losing your self-respect and losing who you are. So this happens all the time where we conform ourselves for our partner. Maybe our partner has a certain set of unhealthy habits. Maybe they're chain smokers. Maybe they're alcoholics. Maybe they just stay up at night and they're, a little bit short on sleep. So you can start to adapt some of their habits and lose sense of your routine, lose sense of what's important to you by being with them. And that's another major regret.
Yeah. Another one that I see often is if you have hurt your partner or other people that are involved in the relationship or the dynamic, and maybe you hurt them in the breakup and you feel bad about the way you handled things, you regret it. Sometimes kids get in the mix and you wind up neglecting your kids, or doing things that are hurtful to their parent, the other parent, or other family members. You might see that it comes out with their behavior, and especially with kids, they tend to act out when they're upset about things. And maybe they saw a lot of fights when there's name calling, and you wanted to hurt the other person, and you did something that isn't normally you, but you were hurting, so you wanted them to hurt too. And that can often lead you to feel really bad about that. Exactly.
How you handle the breakup, it does make a big difference.
Yeah.
I did want to say that the author notes that we are not ourselves when we're experiencing grief and pain. And so a lot of times in the breakup, we'll do a lot of things that we later are very regretful of, or we later are remorseful of. And I want to add to that regret and remorse are part of the human experience. We're all learning, we're all making mistakes, we're all looking back and thinking of things that we could have done better. And there's many people who are like, I have no regrets. I lived my life, I got no regrets. I would have done everything exactly the same because that's who I am. That's what has created me. That's how I learned these lessons. And yes, and I will also add to that regret can serve an excellent purpose in self-growth. Being able to experience that, what could I have done better? What will I do better next time? Is huge in taking those steps to become a better partner.
Do you think the guy that got the tattoo that says no regrets and is spelled wrong regrets it?
I don't know. It's iconic. It is iconic. So maybe.
Does he regret it?
He became an icon.
He did.
And if you do regret it, there's laser tattoo removal.
If he does, then that tattoo is a lie. Although he did say no regrets, so maybe that's what he meant. He didn't mean no regret. He meant no regrets.
Amazing, but isn't that from We're the Millers?
I'm not sure.
I love that movie. It's so good.
All right. So it's normal to have regrets after a breakup. And I can tell you, one of the biggest regrets you're going to have is if you don't focus on personal growth. If you don't heal your attachment issues, if you don't learn to be a better partner, if you don't learn to be emotionally centered, that is going to come back to get you one way or another. And I hate seeing that regret, because many people think their ex isn't going to come back. They stop focusing on the growth. Their ex does come back, and then they regret it. So I hate to see that one, because that one's easily avoided just by focus on personal growth, and it pays off one way or another. Okay?
Exactly.
All right. So hopefully you found this one helpful. Of course, if you want to get our help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Victoria is also available for Skype coaching.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name at the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.